quiet, it won't be safe, and it won't be calm.
Run up and down lots of corridors!
That was the one!
He's turned off to the right, Brigadier.
Locking phasers on target.
They're locking phasers. Ray shields.
Fire!
But I tell you what it will be. I'll tell you what it will be. The trip of a lifetime.
Whoopsie, I forgot to add myself into the stream. YouTubing 101, baby. YouTube 101. Turn the camera on yourself, okay? That's kind of important. I just want to give you YouTube school, baby. That's all you need to know. Make sure you turn the camera on. Good evening, good morning. I hope you are all doing well wherever you are in the world. It's a bit funky, baby. It's a bit funky. I think we are heading headlong into the apocalypse. We'll be talking about that very, very shortly. I've been saying that for years. Like, look, here's the trouble. I've been saying it. The end is nigh for about 4 or 5 years, right? And I wasn't like that beforehand, right? Now I am, because I think the end is nigh, but I think it really is nigh this time. But I always did. Do. Given the evidence of thinking the end is nigh and it not being nigh, then I wouldn't worry. But I still think the end is nigh. But I think it's not as bad as that. But I think the end is certainly nigh for Doctor Who. At least this Russell T Davies iteration of it. Will it die? Will it keep going on and being crap? Will it be like Star Trek Discovery? Will it be like Star Trek? Will it be like Star Wars? Will it be good? I doubt it. Well, the first reviews are in. And here's the thing: you've got to read reviews like they're code, right? That's the only way you can make your way through reviews now, because you have to work out. Oh, if they're saying that, they must mean this, and they say nobody's going to tell you what they actually think, right? Because it might be they think Shooter's mediocre, and they can't say that. That'd be the worst thing in the world. Even though if they do think Shooter's mediocre, right? Here's the thing: I know it doesn't work as well as it used. In fact, it doesn't really work at all anymore, right? But there used to be hypnotized, or not hypnotism, hypnotism, right? So I would go and see movies thinking I would like the movie, and I would convince myself I liked the movie. I think you know where that died, right? You know where that finally fell apart? Last Jedi, right? I walked away from that going, well, I think I like it. It was a Star Wars movie. It took us about 6 months to a year to accept that Phantom Menace wasn't very good. Literally about 6 months to a year, right? That maybe even longer. It might have actually been years before people could actually finally admit it. They're like, oh God, Jar Jar brings it. Like, this is Star Wars. What? This? Yeah, it came to. And people like the prequels now because most people grew up on them. Right, I don't know, half the fans, whatever fans there are left, grew up on them. I don't mind the prequels, but we were like, what? And especially it came out right next to the Matrix, Matrix was world changing. Matrix was, not to the same extent, not the same cultural phenomenon, but in terms of moving cinema on, it's in the same way that Star Wars did to a great extent. So it took a long time, right? So I think there's probably a lot of hypnosis. People convince themselves, oh yeah, he was great. He was absolutely fantastic. Best is that. I think some people have said that. Best, but people are all crazy nowadays, right? They're all freaking insane. They believe the most insane stuff. I mean, look at Israel. I mean, has Israel derangement syndrome taken over from Trump derangement syndrome? Yeah, well, that's how I first recognized people being crazy about Trump, because they're treating them exactly the way they treat Israel. Now, with Trump, people would just assume everything he does and says it belies his deeply evil nature, right? And they say the same thing about Israel. Israel, unlike any other nation, right? Unlike any other nation, tells the enemy where they're going to attack, right? So to avoid civilian casualties, like unlike literally any other nation, right? And then like, oh, you're just taunting them. Now you're telling them to move. Where are they supposed to go? I don't know. Away from the... Where were the Germans supposed to go in World War II when you're bombing Dresden? Did any of you give a shit about that? Where the people from Russia are supposed to go? We're being nice telling you to get out of fucking way, you moron. And then, I don't think you say, why haven't you built us hotels? Why haven't you built us hotels for everybody to stay in? Well, we did build you that city. Yes, but now we want another one because you have to blow up this one. But if we build you another one, then it's just going to be riddled with Hamas as well, or whatever fucked up shit you're into that day. No. And the weird thing, everyone's like screaming about their Arab brethren. We must stand for... God, can I find this clip? Where is it? I think hang on 1 second. I'm pretty sure I bookmarked this, right? I am pretty sure I bookmarked this. Hang on, doink. There's so many people on hunger strike who are super fat, right? It's the funniest thing. Like, it is the funniest thing. Oh god. I just saw Lizzo at the Met Gala. Yeah, that's something that we need to look at. That's messed up, mate. Why do we tell people that Lizzo's beautiful? She's really not. I mean, she might have a nice personality. I have no idea what she's like, but she's not like, like if you get hard on over Lizzo, is it Lizzo? I think it's her name. Yeah. Then look, I guess there's a pot for every lid. Good for you, but like that's not normal. Let me go grab that. It's also weird, right? It's also weird. I think got that now, but where is it? It was like this. Here's another one. So many people on hunger strike who are super fat. I think you could go on hunger strike for the next 50 years and pretty much you'll be safe, right? But I love how important they take themselves. Hang on. Come on, hunger strike. Hunger strike. That'll be number 2. But what's the first one? Hang on. It must be over here. Can't be far away. Here we go. So the other problem we're having. Wait, hang on a second. Let me grab this first, and then I'll be able to get into it. 1 second. Okay, if I just have a bit of news come in. Fine, we have to look at that. I've got another bit of news. Now I got to grab this. Oh man, it's raining news, baby. It's raining news. How do I get that? Come on, here you go. Doink. Yeah, go. That's good. That goes there. Fine. Where's this thing? Oh yeah, right. I have to go over here. Really? I just clicked the close button by mistake. Oh, that's so annoying. Oh, I think I just found it again. There you go. Fine, that's downloading. Okay, 1 second. I mean, my God, these people are all so insanely entitled. They make. And they are making everybody sick. It's not just me, right? They're making literally everybody sick. Anyway. So we got a lot of Doctor Who to talk about. We got a lot of the Ender's Night to talk about. What else we got going on? Superman's costume was revealed. Meh. Honestly, I mean, I like. I didn't like the Henry Cavill one. I like Henry Cavill in it. I thought he was very good. But I like the shorts, right? It was okay. We'll look at that. I mean, it strikes me as a I guess they want to have a kind of new take on it at the same time being super traditional. But the vibe I got with the James Gunn stuff is they want to really lean into the Super Friends type of thing, which I think is a very good idea, right? Lean into the silly, right? Lean a bit more into the silly, bit more into the fun. Action, adventure, and suspense all the way through it. But like, silly and fun sounds good, right? I mean, that sounds fan dabby double dozy, right? That's I like the guy from Barry, the bald guy who's the Chechen gangster who ended up with the Colombian gangster. What's that guy's name? Really weird. I like him a lot, but he's playing Metamorpho, which I think is great casting. I like they got a whole pantheon of superheroes. That all sounds like it's going to be fun. I'm really up for that, right? I'm really genuinely up for all that. But the costume just seems a bit stick up your arsey, right? Stick up your arsey. I was talking last night about a couple of people. I was talking about Sooty, right? Sooty the other night, last night, right? And saying, I grew up with what's his name, Mr. Matthew. What's his name? Not Jacobs. What's the guy's name? Sooty and Sweep. It was with Matthew Corbett. There you go. Fine. And people were like, I was always like, Sooty's okay. But then, I saw like the old ones with his father. Was it Harry Corbett? Yeah, who was it? Who was the original Sooty guy? Hang on. The Sooty Show. Sooty. Where is it? From 55 to 92? What? It went solidly for like... Wait. Okay. That's a legacy. The Sooty Show, Harry Corbett, right? The Sooty Show ran from 1955 to 1992. Then in 92 to 98, changed to Sooty and Co. Then in 1999, it came to Sooty Heights for 2 years. Then 2001 to 2004, it was just Sooty. Then I was off the air for 6 years. And then it came back as Sooty from 2011 to 2018, right? And there was Sooty Magic. Okay, fine. But the original one, right? The original one with Harry Corbett, that's got genuine pathos to it. It's like got really incredible timing. Sooty had a personality, right? I just don't think he really had one with when I was growing up. Oh, Sooty! So I just do that. Sooty, no. Oh, no, not all my news. Here, let's see. Let's see if I can find a clip from Sooty, right? Harry Corbett Sooty. Am I gonna get? I mean, the black and white ones are really the best, right? What's this one? Here, let's grab this. There we go. Doink. Still opening up. What's taking so long? Oh, there you go. Download. I can't even tell. Yeah, I'll use a different downloader. I have this downloader built in to the browser, which I'm really enjoying, actually. I used it because I was using this really dodgy Russian video site called OK.ru, I think. Right, because the guy has done his new special effects on the first 2 seasons of Blake 7. I was trying to work out a way of downloading it, and I was having a nightmare of a time. Like it kept slowing. Then I added this thing onto my browser, and it works. Anyway, here, 1 second. Yeah, file. Downloads. Sooty.
Oh yes, this hypnotism business. Now, if you wave your hands in front of people's eyes, it's really amazing what you can make them do. Because I know a... Oh, no! Stop it! Stop!
See, I like this. Sooty's being naughty, right? Sooty wasn't naughty when I was a kid. Sooty was just like a little glove puppet. It was kind of dull.
Look, that's the last straw. Now,
I know. He's so good at like just these little hand movements, right? Really sells the
do this,
character.
but it's a
Anyway, so you know what the biggest problem with Sooty after I think his son stole him from him. Basically, he got sick, and then he said, and his son took over. Then Harry Corbett got better again, and he's like, "No, screw you, it's mine now." Right? It was something along those. But here's the problem with 1970s Sooty. Right? If you don't know what Sooty is, well, we guess so. Right? 1970s Sooty. It had the same vibe and exists in the same universe as Rainbow. And then Rainbow, even as a young child, I knew there was something up with Rainbow, right? I knew there was something weird going on with Rainbow, right? Rainbow was a weird magazine show. It had Zippy with, it was basically a glove puppet, an obnoxious glove puppet, voiced by Roy Skelton, the voice of the Cybermen, right? I mean, I wish the protesters and the woke fucks that are around today were only as annoying as Zippy, right? Then you had George. George was really weird. George was like his gay power bottom weird lover. There's this weird, I can't even know that. Then you have Bungle, who was massive. Bungle was bigger than anybody. It was a big bear who kind of looked like Mr. Trump. Had that same expression, right? I'm not sure if he was quite such a racist as Mr. Trilby, right? But had that same expression. Something more stuff about him. It never ends, right? It never ends. And then you had Jeffrey, who was a clearly gay man, right? And then you had Rod, Jane, and Freddie. And again, when I was a kid, I could tell Rod, Jane, and Freddie were fucking each other in a weird way. And I just realized, right? They were all probably in the same sex cult, right? I wouldn't be at all surprised if Bungle's like shoving anal beads up George's ass, like, oh, Bungle, oh, like I wouldn't be at all surprised. That's the world that the 70s Sooty come from. So I not a fan, ladies and gentlemen, not a fan. What I was thinking about that, right? What I was thinking about that, I was trying to convey to somebody my emotional state yesterday, right? My emotional state yesterday, it was kind of like, and I ended up watching Curse of Fenric because of this. Do you know that bit in Curse of Fenric where Commander Millington's like, spouting all this Viking stuff like dead men's ship has left its tail, it will come and destroy. There was some weird lines that was going on with it, right? That basically he's prophesying, this is the end, baby. This is the end. I've been saying that. I've been saying that for a while, but man, that's what I think is going on, right? I knew they were going into Rafa, right? I knew they were going into Rafa. Well, everybody really, but I think it just got to a point where they're saying to Biden, we don't care, right? But here's the insight. So I knew they're going into Rafa. And my son says, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be till I speak to you again. He thinks he's going to be there for months, right? I'm not so sure, but he thinks he's going to be in there for months. But here's the thing, right? I was saying earlier, I'm a very the end is nigh kind of guy. I've basically been like that for the last few years while I've been on this channel. Well, I've had the lifetime of this channel, weirdly enough, right? Yeah, it was basically the lifetime of it. Maybe it's connected, right? That's because, there's lots of descriptions of what the end of days looks like right before the beginning of a Messianic era. And this is it. This is exactly what's described. And if you make a checklist, I would say America suspending arms sales, right, or arms shipments, which Trump was impeached for, but America suspending ammunition shipments and stopping that Pier Hills building off Gaza for some insane reason, right? I think that was the last check in the end of days box, right? We have a massive resurgence of anti-Semitism. I thought it was bad under Corbyn. This is worse than anything anybody's seen in our lifetime. This is early 30s. This is 1930s Germany level anti-Semitism, and it's anti-Semitism of people, which I think is probably the same in World War II, right? Like the Holocaust, because it's fashionable, right? I think that's a large thing driving it. It's just bloody fashionable, and it's being driven by absolute morons, right? Absolute insane morons. So you got all that going on. We got the general degeneracy of the world, and it's just kind of spinning out of control. And they've been trying to stop us going to Rafah for months, right? And so my way of looking at it is like this: there's the function of all of this, right? Again, this is from my nutball point of view. I'm not trying to convince you to believe what I believe. In fact, believe anything else, you'll be happier. But I'm not trying to convince you to believe what I mean. But I might be right, right? I might be right. I think this might be it, because okay. So the thing to compare the times we're in now, the events we're in right now, on a theological perspective, is the Exodus from Egypt. Now, the function of the Exodus of Egypt wasn't really to bring the Jews out of Egypt, to create the Jewish nation. We were the Israelites. They made us into the Jewish nation because God appeared at Mount Sinai. Blah blah blah. Wasn't really about that, right? It was more about destroying a deeply evil worldview called primarchy, which essentially it was an anti-God worldview where there's always another human on top of you. You know, it's like a pyramid scheme, right? You got this guy's on top of this guy until you got the guy right at the top, Pharaoh, right? So it was designed to destroy, to humiliate, right? The people who were adherents to that worldview. And so I see a lot of parallels today. Right? I might be reading into it, but I see a lot of parallels for today. But the fall of the American withdrawal from Afghanistan, I think, is almost exactly the same as the Plague of Blood, right? What was it? The Plague of Blood, all those 10 plagues, all the cool stuff, right? All the bling, right? That's in the world. That was all in a world where magic existed, right? Where we call it Kishu, where it was the technology of the time. It was the technology of Egypt, right? And they had their arse handed to them by a small band of powerless, in the Egyptian case, it was slaves. Here it was the Taliban, right? But it was a humiliation for the wealth and power of Egypt, in the same way the fall of the Taliban takeover, instant takeover of Afghanistan, was a same level of humiliation, right? It just lives in the world where there's no supernatural events going on, right? That's a whole other story. So the reason I really think this is being moved into overdrive is a very personal one, right? I used to up until about 10, 15 years ago, I think about 15 years ago, right? I had this insane connection with God, right? And again, I might just be reading into it. I might be delusional, but like, again, around 10, 15 years ago, it just kind of shut off. It was the weirdest thing. Right, and it was very hard to deal with, right? But yeah, it just kind of shut off, and I went through the motions. I would pray, I would do the stuff, the stuff you're supposed to do, and yet still, I would not hear back from God. That since Friday, that's completely changed. It was like I've been let out of jail, right? Like it's hard to explain, right? It's hard to explain. Christians will probably get it, right? Especially like newer Christian, people who are like who didn't grow up Christian, became Christian later. I just feel filled with I'm trying to explain it in a way that's relatable to everybody, but filled with like the essence of God, right? To a certain extent. I mean, not really filled, but like it's a pleasurable existence, right? It feels good, right? So like praying now, like the act of like ritualistic prayer, which I always take my time over. I always like try. Well, I don't know. I try, right, to like really think about what I'm doing and how. And again, I was doing that for the last 10, 15 years out of rote, out of habit, out of like dedication, of like insane faith that there was still a God there, even though it was not apparent to me in any way, right? Now, prayer, especially the communal prayer, it feels better than getting high. Now, don't do drugs, kids, right? But of course, I've never done the marijuana. Obviously not. Especially not, very, very gooey, sticky Durban poison. No, I wouldn't indulge in that at all. And I wouldn't know. It's freaking awesome. Oh my God. So but the act of prayer is more physically pleasurable than getting high. Right, that's really weird. I'm going to give you a really weird example, right? A really weird example of how my relationship with God has completely changed. So I got and this is very mundane, but it's like, to me, it's like means a lot. So I got a Blu-ray drive, like an external Blu-ray reader, right? And what I like to do is when I get my new box sets, we will be speaking about Image of Fendel's Day. I like to rip the box set onto digital. That way, it's just so much more convenient, right? If I want to show you a clip or something, I have it like everything right here. I can watch it on my phone. I have a home server. It's so much more convenient. So I get this box set, right? First thing I rip is Image of Fendel, right? Because I want to start with that. I mean, I start the first one. I was going to use the disc on the first one. And then by the time I get to Image, I'll be Image of Fendel, will be ready to go. But it stopped working. Like it would turn, and then light would flicker, right? And then it would just stop. And it wouldn't read it. It wouldn't mount on the drive. But it wouldn't mount on the computer. And it was just dead, right? It was just dead. But it was moving. There was power going into it. So I gave up, right? I gave up. Like, I guess it's not, I guess it's not coming together. So then I think Sunday, I gave it another try, right? This is after I gave up, right? About 2 months ago. I gave it another try. I hooked it up to another computer, used different cables, fiddling around with it. Nothing doing, right? Nothing doing. So then I said this prayer, right? This prayer, which I say a lot, right? It's about creation, right? You can basically create anything with this prayer. And again, if you're atheist, then just enjoy listening to a guy being crazy, okay? This prayer is there's 2 steps of creation, one in your mind, one in reality. So you say the first step is, I choose to create the reality of whatever it is you want. So I wanted that hard drive to work, right? So I said I choose to create the reality that this hard drive will be plugged in and read the disk, right? And I imagine it and make it real, right? And then I say, I have no control of this happening whatsoever. Every bit of control of this world is in God's hands, right? God controls everything, right? And then I say, whatever God does is good, right? I hope God makes it happen, but whatever God does is good, right? And it just started working, right? It just started working right then. So I ripped Invasion of Time, because I wasn't sure how long it was going to last. Like, Invasion of Time, we'll start with that one, right? And then after that, the next one I wanted to rip was what was it? Not Underworld. Sun Makers, right? And then I ripped Sun Makers, and it started to look a bit iffy, right? It started not to work so well. And then when I put in the Underworld disc, that didn't work. That was last night. Didn't work. I'm like, okay, I'm very grateful for getting these 2 ones ripped. I was very chuffed with it. So I said, I'll tinker around with it this morning. Same thing, right? I tinkered around with it. Nothing doing. Wouldn't work. Just would not work in any way, shape, or form. And then I said that prayer again. And it's the crazy thing. Do you remember in Jurassic Park, right? Well, who was it? Sam Neill's character, right? Had this thing with technology. Whenever he touched the computer screen, he went, yeah. It was like that. It just started working. I don't know. And I'm a guy who thinks God is real, right? I'm a guy who believes it. And seeing that happen in front of your eyes, like seemingly in a controlled environment, and it would be, not a scientific method, but it's weird, right? It's weird. So I think that is a sign of the coming world change. I think God's presence is going to fill the world, right? I think it's going to get very, very scary. You know what it's like? Independence Day. Do you remember a bit in Independence Day where you had Data in it? What was his name? Brent Spiner playing something not like that. He had the big hair, right? And when they went to see him in his like Area 41 or wherever it was in his base, they said, things have been really crazy the last couple of days when the aliens showed up and all the alien doodads and gizmos turned on as they like started to pick up from the energy, right? The power from being generated by the Independence Day thing. That's what I think is going on, right? I think there is this, like, I don't know, holy energy. Again, these are very, very simplistic, bad words to try and describe a complex phenomenon, right? And I think I'm traveling backwards in time, but I don't think it's very far away, right? So I think this going into Rafa is a very I think this is like the final battle, or at least the beginning of the final battle against good versus evil on a global scale for all time, right? And I understand that sounds hyperbolic, but actually I really believe that, right? Because the whole function of a messianic era, right, is first there needs to be an awakening from below, like the Jews need to go do something physical, right? I saw a great thing say, like, King David, all the prayers in the world are, all of King David's prayers in the world are great, but none of them match. But no, all of King David's prayers and psalms are fantastic. But at some point, you got to get up and you got to face Goliath with a sling, right? And that's how I feel. It's like, yeah, look, Hamas, they're a tiny people, right? We're fighting Iran, but we're not just fighting Iran. We're fighting this entire axis of evil, right? The entire axis of evil. And I think, the first is awakening from below, which I think we're up to, and I think that's why we were stopped at Rafah at the last point, because I think when they go, that's it. That's the linchpin, right? And we're in this insane time right now called Sfirat HaOmer. It's a 49-day period. We're just entering in the third week of that, and this is like spiritual cauldron of intense spiritual energy. There's a lot of like big holy days here. There's the Israel Independence Day. I mean, that was just miracle beyond miracle. There was Jerusalem Day, which was the 6-day war. Again, insane miracles. Like, they don't teach it at West Point because it's insane, right? It's insane how much success that we had there, right? So there's this, I think, Lag BaOmer. There's a lot of stuff here. It's a very messianic and a spiritually prime time. So tonight, right now, where I am in Israel, right? I'm two hours ahead of you. For me, it's 7:30. It's we're just entering what's called Rosh Chodesh, which is a celebration of a new month, right? The beginning of the new month doesn't start till tomorrow. This time tomorrow night, but it's that month again is this very like messianic month. It's called Iyar. Again, it's when Israel independent. It's when we won the 48 war. It's when we won the 67 war. Huge miracles, right? And the world is, and so everything's just really teed up for things to get crazy, right? For things to get, and so look here. Let me show you this. 1 second. I've got some funny things to show you. Where is this? Oh, fine. Here it is. So this is the interesting thing, right? This was from a Jew-hating site, a Jew-hating account on X, right? It wasn't from. And then right next to it was the pro-Israel showing the same clip, right? But this one has some subtitles, which is good. But what they wanted to show is how evil the Jews are because they're praying to their primitive God, right? Before they go and slaughter the good brave people of Gaza. People are insane. Oh man, they are insane. But my son is probably in there somewhere, right? But so we do feel there is a general feeling in this country this is a messianic religious war. Now, don't get me wrong, the secular people do not like religion at all, right? They do not like the religious. They do not like religion. They will not agree to with what I'm saying. But you'll see how the soldiers who are not wearing these things, the idlib, right? You know, the keeper. People are putting their hands on each other. There's, you know, when I was in rabbinical seminary, it was in the old city of Jerusalem in the 90s. There's a thing that you say on Sabbath called Kiddush, where you have a glass of wine, and it's like, you know, to welcome in the day sort of thing. So, you know, a few of us would always volunteer to do Kiddush for the soldiers on guard duty. And everybody was always appreciative of it, right? Everybody was like, that's the thing. You got most of the country are like, they're called Masorti. They're normal people, right? They're like not madly religious, but they're not anti-religious, right? And that's where most of these people are. But there's a real feeling of like this is a messianic war, right? That is a. And people aren't prepared to really admit it, other than crazy people. But anyway, so this is about to go into Rafa, and it's being they are saying prayers for the Jewish New Year, right? Okay, so they didn't translate the prayers. Ana Hashem Hoshiana, please God save us. This is part of. Where is it? Hallel, which Hallel is it's the thing you say right before the hosannas, right? Christians will know what hosannas is. A good part of Jesus Christ Superstar. You know, oh, hosanna, hosanna, that one, right? That bit. So this is what you say before. And so you go, please God save us, right? Yes, give a bit of well. Okay, so this two things to know about this. This is important. They're blowing a shofar. A shofar is a ram's horn. You blow it in the Jewish New Year, ritually, and it's supposed to like freak out the Satan and make him run screaming. But you also blow it when, you know, when we were taking the land of Israel back in the days of the Exodus, or 40 years after that. We there's a famous story of the city of Jericho. The Israelites surrounded it and they blew these ram's horns a number of times, and the walls collapsed. Right, in the 6-Day War, the chief rabbi was famous for blowing this ram's horn as the Israeli soldiers. He was with the paratroopers as they were advancing to the Western Wall. It's the first time the Jews had got to the Western Wall, got sovereignty over it. For 2,000 years. He was blowing over. He thought that was a Messianic time. I think that was a Messianic time, but I think we screwed it up. But like, they're blowing the shofar going in. But this is what it's like when blowing the shofar. They're always shitted it the first time. Like, it's not even that good. It takes a while to get warmed up, but suddenly you go. Then it works out well. Now we're going to go to Rafir. Yeah, when I got up this morning, my wife said, your son was busy last night. And I get the feeling he was, right? I do get the feeling. So we've got in there, right? The world's freaking out. The UN are freaking out. Everyone's freaking out. Fuck you all. That's all I can say. Fuck you all. Like, we said we're going to do this. Like, we are going to destroy Hamas. And anybody who says, no, that's not going to be possible. No, fuck you, mate. I think you'll find it is. I think we're like one step away from like things getting absolutely insane. I think before there is any like, you know, crazy messianic things happen, things have to get very, very, very scary first, right? I mean, but again, look at the general insanity going on in the world right now. It's just like, where is this? Julia Hartley Brewer had somebody call on say who was like a bingo card for all the insanity in the world, right? Just batshit crazy. But they also had somebody else on, and they haven't released that as a video because this was like somebody who's defending the college protests, anti-Semitic rallies, Nuremberg rallies. and they always scream their bloody heads off. They never answer anything. But here, let's listen to what she has to say.
In Epsom and joins us now. Good morning to you, Charlotte.
Hi there.
Hello.
Yeah, I just want to say, Julia, it's high time that you were indicted for inciting genocide.
Okay.
And I really...
Okay, at that point, if you're opening with that, and that you say it with a kind of calm voice, that's not good, darling.
genuinely hope that you go to bed at night and you wake up in the morning and all you see are the faces of dead and injured Palestinian children that have nothing to do with this.
Well, they okay, excuse me. They overwhelmingly support Hamas, right? They overwhelmingly, which you can understand to a certain extent. Like this insane woman, she's been fed bullshit, all her life, right?
15,000 dead Palestinian children.
And again, look, I hate to point this out. How many civilians does the British kill in combat? Right? Is it more or less than Israel? It's more. It's about double. Right? It might actually, this one, it might actually be about triple. I understand seeing dead babies is nasty. A lot of those dead babies you see is completely staged. But again, this woman is just wrapped up in insanity after it. It's like the crazy Trump people, right? He's going to never leave the office. He's crazy. He hates babies. It's as insane as you can get.
Saw a child last night on social media take their last breath with half their head blown off.
Well, no, you were told that's what was going on. That might be what's happening, right? Maybe not. Normally not, right? Normally not. This is normally theater but that's what they say about us too.
You have children or a child. I know you do. I
have children on the front lines of combat. I'm damn proud of it.
Got 2 under 4, and I don't know how you live with yourself because this is...
Because, okay. It's okay. Here's the answer to your idiot question. How do you live with how do you live with yourself? It's because we haven't been we don't listen to we haven't pretended that racist gossip and defamation is real. We don't pretend that to ourselves. So that's why it is sad that the Gazans wanted to have this war, and they did, right? Because they overwhelmingly support it, right? And it's a war that will decimate them, as it has. But listen, if it was any other country, they would have the casualties have been much higher.
Not about eradicating Hamas. That is nonsense. It's clear. Anyone with half a brain can see that.
What is it about then?
It's about annihilating the Palestinians. It's about
annihilating the Palestinians. Okay,
I would love to talk to this person, but they wouldn't be able to talk, right? I would say, if it's about annihilating the Palestinians, if that's what they want to do, then why don't they do that, right? Why are they doing such an incredibly bad job? Why are there less civilian casualties than in any other combat? Like, why? If that's the goal.
Okay, Charlotte, you've had a good say. By the way, I sleep very, very well at night, and I also spend my time not just thinking about the children who are dying in Gaza, which I've tackled.
You don't give a damn. You don't give a damn.
I don't give a damn.
I hope one day, like Rwanda, you are indicted like the people that encourage genocide.
I'm not sure. Radio. I don't think you understand international law very well. If you think that,
it's not that I don't think she's a bad person. Look, she might be an anti-Semite. I don't know, but I don't think she's a bad person. I think this person has been fed. This is the reason for malicious defamation, right? Why does Mr. Trilby always call everybody anti-Semites? Because they're an anti-Semite. I mean, he really is, right? But this is the reason for it. So you don't have to answer their points.
Journalist expressing an opinion gets indicted. You get indicted for foreign wars.
You're inciting
I'm encouraging.
I mean, it's nice that you're not spitting on us, but we would be doing this either way.
You give out false information.
What false information?
Do you want them to bomb Rafah, and do you want them to, quote unquote, like your last text said, finish the job? Because what does finish the job mean apart from killing more dead?
No, finish the job.
Okay, first, you can't kill more dead Palestinians. They're already dead. But finishing the job means eradicating Hamas, right? Eradicate. That's what it means. It means eradicating Hamas.
Right, but I'm pretty sure that finish the job means get rid of Hamas, the terrorists who are... Yeah. Now, Charlotte, I listened to you. Very happy to listen to you. I disagree with all of your points, without exception. I do care about the children. Okay, try the listening thing.
I like Julia Hartley-Brewer.
Very well. I do care about the children in Gaza, which is why on a number of occasions when I've interviewed representatives of the IDF and the Israeli government, I do tackle them on the humanitarian crisis and the like.
Well, that's good.
Well, again. But do you
encouraging bombing? That's good.
I don't. In what way do I encourage?
Okay, fine. There's no real point listening to the whole thing. It essentially does make a good. She doesn't make a good point on the whole thing. But you see how she is entrenched. When I mean entrenched, her worldview is dug in deep, right? It is absolutely insane. Then she had on an Israeli spokesman a little bit later, which I think explains.
It makes some sense of what is going on in the Middle East right now with Fleur Hassan-Nahum. She's an Israeli Foreign Ministry Special Envoy and previously was Deputy Mayor of Jerusalem. Good afternoon to you, Fleur.
Hi, Julia. How
Thanks
are you?
for joining us. Now, we've had reports late last night and early this morning, two key developments. One is that Hamas said they had accepted a ceasefire deal, and then
I can't wait to. Yeah, this is the bit where I'm showing this because I wanted to say in because if I say it doesn't, I might be talking shit.
We were told that Israel said this was a ruse and they were not accepting it. And also, we did see strikes on Rafah. We've seen the leafleting of Rafah, the city in the southern part of Gaza, where many people have taken refuge after being told to leave Gaza City. And now being told leave there because the likelihood many seem to be expecting of the IDF forces going into Rafah. Can you talk to us about what is going on? First of all, let's talk about the ceasefire that is.
Okay, so this is something you all need to know. Okay, this is something you all need to know.
Isn't a ceasefire? Why?
Yes.
What do you understand that Hamas has agreed to, and what does Israel object to?
So let's unpack the whole thing. For the last 2 months, the whole world has been putting pressure on Israel not to continue its ground offensive, to destroy the last 4 or 5 battalions of
And it would have been over 6 weeks ago had we done it.
Terrorists that Hamas have left that are based themselves in Rafah. And we know that, of course, Sinwar, who is the Osama bin Laden in the story, is also in Rafah and potentially, possibly surrounding himself with our innocent hostages. I want to remind...
Potentially. He if any of them are still alive, they're wrapped around him right now.
And everybody, including a 1-year-old little baby. And for 4 times, Israel presented different deals that Hamas rejected because the whole world was tying Israel's hands in our backs so that we wouldn't go into Rafah and that Hamas would accept the deal. What happens? Hamas is put up a tree, essentially. They reject every peace deal, and they reject the last peace temporary ceasefire deal a few days ago.
Which I think was a terrible idea, that deal they put on the table.
Not only do they reject it, but they send rockets to Kerem Shalom. This was 2 days ago, which is one of the humanitarian aid entry points. That same humanitarian aid that the whole world is telling us we're not doing enough. We open as many entry points as possible. What do? They go from a so-called humanitarian zone in Rafah. They send it over to the humanitarian entry point and they kill 4 soldiers, Julia.
By the way, my son was there by the skin of his teeth, right? That was exactly where he was. He had to nip back to the base to get something. And 4 people were killed.
Including an 18-year-old boy, a soldier.
Well, he's a man.
2 days ago.
Not a boy.
This is 2 days ago. A man, okay. A young man. Then what happens? Yesterday, we send leaflets to Rafah to ask people to move to the east side, to leave the east side of Rafah, because that's where we're going to start our offensive. Which country in the world lets their enemy know where they're going to start attacking?
Nowhere else, right? No, but still we're the cunts, right? Nobody else does this, but still we're the evil Jews.
We do to protect their civilians, the people they don't protect.
The civilians that are on board for October 7th, right?
Once Hamas understand that we're serious this time, because enough is enough, what happens? They come up and they say, we've accepted the peace deal, but that was a lie. That was a propaganda game.
Was it okay? They play a fantastic PR propaganda game. Well, no doubt at all about that.
They're the best because the mainstream media jump. And what is the headline? Hamas have accepted the peace deal. But no, they didn't accept anything. They basically wrote themselves a fictitious deal, and they said, this we will accept. It wasn't a deal.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what's going down there. Let's say now here's the axis of evil lined up against us. So this is why I'm not overly terrified, right? There is lots of hunger strikes going on, and you know, normally I'm not on board for hunger strikes. I think this one might not be a bad idea, right?
People of conscience in the Princeton community, students.
I mean, darling, are you not smart enough for you, fat cow that you are, to be on camera filming yourself in front of something saying hunger strike for fat Palestine? Are you really? You can't put that together in your little head, can you? Really? I mean, like, look, don't get me wrong. Look, things are going down in Rafah. I agree with you, right? I definitely agree with you. Yes, we've got some images there, like flares going up. But then who's opposed to it? Yes. I mean, what the really? She's on hunger strike, is she? I mean, look, I think she's got the ability to be on hunger strike for quite some time. So that seems damn scary. Like, what the hell? What is that? That's just freaking insane. So anyway, let us escape the weirdness of the real world and get into the shitty weirdness of Doctor Who. Oh, Nurse Perry, how are you doing? At last, the world wanted it, and here it is. Space babies. Yes, we are clearly talking about Rusty Davis shooting up where these two little scabs have been acting up and need a good burping and being putting to bed. Sounds good to us. Yes, let's have sex, and then we can talk about how we like to do that a lot all through Doctor Who. Space babies! Who'd have thought the title of the first episode of the new season would be describing the creators? First look at the new Superman. Meh. I mean, like, meh. The collapse of woke Hollywood. No chance we're getting to that. But let us get to the chat. Oh, sodding hell. An hour in? I want to do a shorter show. I was thinking, you know, I might quit after an hour after I go over all the... No, apparently not. An hour in? You're having a laugh, aren't you? Did I nod off for like 45 minutes? That was never an hour. What happened? That's very weird, mate. That's very weird. Okay, fine. There's a lot of chat to get to. Fine. Darren Evans, how you doing, Darren? Thank you for joining us. A Muslim professor stimming for Keir Starmer early on the Ian Collins show. I wish I could get the one from the Julie Hartley-Brewer show. That guy was mental. Right? That guy was like, you say everything's a must. You say this is a must. This guy was mental, right? Absolutely mental. Odious Doris is there. How you doing? Colin Archer there. Archer Collins is here. The Sodranges are here. Yes. I wonder who would win a beauty contest and a dance off. Could it be Perry, Romana, Lila Rose, Yasmin, Finney, Lizzo, or Shooty Gatwa? Or me, the Stunning and Brave. Eki Fump. That would be Jinx Monsoon. Oh fuck! It's like this. There's nothing about this era that doesn't seem like a disaster. You want to hear real Doctor Who? You want to hear great Doctor Who? You want to see fantastic Doctor Who? Head on over to Dr. Alex's channel. Lonnie in the chat on comics had his episode premiere this week. I haven't heard it yet. I'm trying to get to it, mate. I got 2 more to listen to before yours. All right. But you see, I saw bits of it. Tell you, Alex really puts these things together well. Season 14 is probably the best produced one. It's really good, right? If you haven't heard this stuff, go and check it out. I like the AI Peter Capaldi reading it the best, right? That sounds incredibly authentic. If you really, again, it's so good. It's such authentic Doctor Who, right? If you're longing for new authentic Doctor Who, you can't go wrong with that. What's the name of this episode again? Oh, I can't remember. It was a really good title as well. Oh, he told me, but I can't remember. Should I look it up? Oh, something about Space Ghost, right? It'll say, what was it here? Well, now we go. Dr. Alex. Let's pull that up. Doink. How did it come up straight? Oh, there we go. Season 14. Space Ghost Assassin. I have an idea, but it's a great title. Right? That's a really great title. Space Ghost Assassin. They're about an hour long, these books, and honestly, I can't. The reason I'm plugging it because I want you to enjoy it. I want you to check it out because it's very good, right? It's very, very good. Lonnie, I'm looking forward to listening to your episode. Fly Highlanders here. Oh, no, wait, we do our best. Thank you for the, he likes the thumbnail. You're a man of taste and, what's the word I'm thinking of? Taste and refinement? That's not the word, but it works and I can move on. Matthew Q is here. How you doing, Matthew? Thank you. Matthew J. Hi, everybody. I became a dad for the first time. Mazel tov on May the 4th. What is Star Wars Day? Sarah Jo, we named after Sarah Jade and Joe Grant. Wow. Wow, that's going to be one hot girl. Gee, we are heartbreak. Oh, man, I'm so happy to hear that, Matthew. Mazel tov, mate. Mazel tov. Let me tell you, that was the easy part. you wait for 15 years from now. Girls, oy vey. Teenage girls, oy vey. You ask, come to me for advice when you get hit by that terrifying wall. I'm hoping you won't live in such an insanely sick world by the time your daughter becomes a teenager. I am so glad my kids are not young anymore in this, again, sick, degenerate world that we live in. I am really genuinely so glad about that. Yeah. It's yeah, I really will. I'll be really. I guess the only way to raise kids in this world, like with what's been like for the last 5 years, is homeschool. Find a community. Like even if you weren't religious, I would find a religious community. Like I would send your kid to religious school because like that's the only way of getting close to sanity, right? I mean, really. I mean, I wouldn't be. Maybe not a Muslim religious school because they might end up getting into jihad, but I don't know. Matthew Q is here with a. Is that a? Oh, I thought it was a Grover. Was it emoji guy? Was it emoji? But no. Otis says DVDs of the original episode of Sooty. Sooty. When I was working this morning, I listened to the Louise Jameson interview on the on this. Why? Because I got the bloody. Well, I didn't get it because my Blu-ray driver started to work, so I was able to rip it. I would say it's actually surprisingly one of the weakest of the interviews because I'm amazed because Louise Jameson is so clever, right? And Louise Jameson is like I would say clever and like a real life Joan from Mad Men. Who was like the perfect woman, right? She was like incredibly intelligent, beautiful, maternal, sexy. I mean, like just the entire pack. I would say the same thing about Louise Jameson. Just her voice is beautiful, right? It's just they feel, and even today, right? And you hear the intelligence behind her. But yeah, Matthew Sweet was a bit more interested in Tenko. Than Doctor Who. I mean, I guess there's not many Doctor Who anecdotes you can hear anymore. I found one interesting that Stuart Fell, when he was with the stuntman, Stuart Fell, that when he was dressed as Leela for a stunt, somebody pinched his ass, right? And again, I can't believe how normal that was so relatively short time ago. The Nicola Bryant interview I found far more interesting. No, I did. I found far more interesting because I was just so fascinated by like the mid 80s. She said about 1 out of 3 times you went into the BBC, so you would feel someone's hand on your ass. Like, how do you do that? It's so beyond me. What are we up to? Yeah, it's just weird, right? It's just weird. OD, my area is Thomas and Friends, Postman Pat and Fireman Sam. He's a little bit younger than me. Captain Kangaroo Kid for Lonnie. I feel so jealous that you're your childhood entertainers didn't turn out all the time to be massive perverts, right? Was it on Team Orville or Team Emu? Oh, Emu all the way, baby. No question. Emu all the way, right? Speaking of which, do I have this on here? Yeah, let me go check. I'm not sure if I got that. They have the. I think so. One second. Let me look over here on the. I think it's on the Image Offender disc. Yeah. Do I like anybody who's liking Emu out there and likes Doctor Who? This is just pure greatness, right? So I'm gonna go there. Doctor Who, Fourth Doctor, Image of Fendar. I ended up in Talons of Wing Chiang. How did that happen? Oops. Image of Fendar, right? Check this out. This is a great little extra. Doctor Who meets the Daily Delusion. Emu's just the best. I mean, like Dr. Emu. I'm sorry. I love Ron Hart. What do we use this on? This is like the early 80s. Now, do you think they had Roy Skelton do the voices? Oh, that's it. It's always fun when Emo attacks someone. Okay. Oops. What's Emu doing? Yeah, sadly, this looks like a little bit more authentic Doctor Who than the Shooting Upward version.
Dr. Emu.
Oh man, right, it just makes me smile, right? Just makes me smile. I remember there was one with like there was these plates that they had to put out to see if there's. That was a school special thing. Okay. Who can remember? When I get to it, who can remember? Colin Archer will remember this. There was some Doctor Who spoof or like parody or something where they had to work out where the edge of a boundary was. They used paper plates and they just lined them up and they saw where they got cut off. I don't know. Yeah, Doctor Emu. Just another good reason to get the Blu-ray collection. Where are we up to? So that was Darren Bradley. So although I liked Emu. What's Emu? Oh my god. Okay, Lonnie, this we got so much to get to, but like, excuse me, Emu, Michael Parkinson. Okay, Emu was one of the greatest children's entertainers of all time, right? Wait, let me download it. Here it comes. I mean, genuinely, one of the greatest children's entertainers of all time. Okay, Lonnie, we are derailing the show, but boy, is it worth it, right? No, go here. We will get to Doctor Who stuff at some point.
I think the thing that sums emus up best of all, if I were asked to do it, would be to describe them as second-rate. For instance, they're the second biggest bird, not the biggest bird, but number 2. I mean,
this guy Michael Parkinson, he was like the David Letterman. He was like the what's the one again? The Johnny Carson in the UK.
Indefinitely second-rate creatures, and thank God they're not in this country at all. And this is the moment.
So he was famous for going on talk shows and essentially attacking people.
Yeah, seems very happy.
Oh yes, he's very happy here, aren't you?
What's he looking at?
I don't know. He always likes to know where he is. You see, his surroundings. Sorry about that. Don't do that. Stop
it. I mean, honestly, this is when TV was great.
Look, you should have cleaned it before you come out here.
Does it take to people, straight away? I mean, or do I have to...
Yes, it does. Of course it does. Yeah.
I don't have to make friends with it.
Yeah.
Try hard.
Yeah, you can make friends. He's quite friendly if you just stroke him like that.
Really?
See, look.
Again, he's still alive. I don't know. This guy's awesome.
Yeah, he has to get your scent first, you see.
Oh, I see. The scent.
I think he's got yours. It's a rotten scent and all. Now, just let Mr. Parkinson give you a little stroke. Go on. See, look. He's quite nice, isn't he? See, look. Look, he's taken to you. Oh,
Oh, my God.
Is that yours?
Yes, it's mine.
Sorry. Let's have it back. What are you going to do now? He's lost without it,
So this is Emu. Emu would just go on and cause chaos and it'd be wonderful.
What? Don't keep doing that. Yes.
Is it a male or female emu, this?
Why don't you have a look for yourself?
Well, I wouldn't know what to look for.
Being mauled by Emu was like just such a badge of honor.
Looks nice on the interview last week.
But it's important you see this so you know the world Doctor Who comes from, okay? This is the universe that spawned the most awesome Doctor Who.
You're not going to say, are you? Actually, what's the matter with you? You're all right, aren't you?
Why is it so aggressive?
It's not aggressive.
Not much.
It's not all the time.
Lunatic.
It's not. Come here.
How much of this was planned? How much was the shock? All right, so Lonnie, imagine that happening on Johnny Carson, right? That's Emu. Oh, Emu's wonderful. Have I seen the Daleks? I can't do another tangent. I gotta get to work. I gotta get Doctor Who stuff done. Where we are. Dastley and Muttley. Oh, now you're talking. What was that? OG Stardust. I love Dastley and Muttley. Where are we up to? Fine. Mark Lewis is here. Hey, Mark Lewis, thank you for joining us. Rebecca Gold. Oh, damn it, Ian. Ian is here. Good luck, everybody. I mean, what are they gonna do? I mean, is okay. What's this Doctor gonna do to stop the monsters? Is he gonna give Davros a hand job to give him to confuse them? Oh, I can't stand when they say Doctor Who can't be limited. Really? Can he be that means he can be a child molester, right? Or he can be a coward, or he can be an idiot. I mean, I guess it was that with Jodie Whittaker, right? What are you doing, Ian? He was talking about kids shows, then God now and now computers. Well, yeah, I move around. I move around, baby. She cried. Tzvi, can you tell God to fix Doctor Who? Well, again, that's what I'm doing, right? This is my big hope. I think I've been a bit of a loyal supporter of God over the years. I'm like, good Lord, please, if you're gonna bring an apocalypse before Saturday, before we get fucking faggot Doctor Who. And I'm saying faggot not because he's gay, but because they're so faggy. Oh God, right? It's like, please. You can be gay without mincing. Is Rafa in the place of Megiddo? No. I've been to Megiddo. That's Armageddon. It is. Let me look on a map. Megiddo. Megiddo. Where is it? Hang on. It's where is it? No, it's up north. Megiddo is relatively near Afula. Caesarea, Haifa's the nearest big town. Yeah, no, it's the other direction, right? The other direction. Thank God we have the internet, because I would never know, right? I would never. I'm in Megiddo. It's not as interesting as you would think. It's a very Christian destination in Israel, and I wanted to get like a little when you get a little tchotchke when you go. We went there with the kids when they were young. I want to get a little tchotchke, and there's all these like what they call it again, snow globe crucifixes, right? I'm like, that'll be that I will remember coming, because we're not really pro crucifix being a Jewish household. My wife was like, no, it's a hard no, right? Hard no. 34 minutes in, I know. I'm convinced it's from another planet, baby. All I'm saying is you don't want to touch the ground on that planet. It's very, very sticky, right? They're very sticky. They're blowing a chauffeur. Well, okay then. Michael Q's back. I probably hadn't moved on from when you went away, right? But Michael Q's back. That's good. Paul Tozer's here. How you doing, Paul Tozer? I think we should be great with the BB is in charge and not me, as I would have got full guns blazing the next day. Here's the thing, I don't know how I feel about BB, but I just don't think he's the guy he's being portrayed to be by like the nutballs. Peter said I called it. Well, I called it went in, but I do. I think this is the. I think this is the spark that will like World War III. Right, I think World War III before shooting up where minces interview as Doctor Who, which we're going to be looking at very shortly. Really, I mean, like, why is he so mincing? That's really my biggest problem. Hunger strike. Let me examine the more like extreme dieting. No. Solar Engine's 51 minutes in. I know. Okay, I'm just seeing it now. Okay, I know Solar Engine. Thank you. Really, that's like kicking a man in the balls, right? Well, now I'm an hour and 13 minutes in. Okay, I'm going to do a longer show today. Okay, I will do a longer show today because I feel guilty. Doctor Who and the 72 goat virgins. Well, you don't get many virgin goats in the Arab hordes, in the Arab herds, I should say. I'm saying muzzle toss to Matthew J. I'm really chuffed about that. Congratulations. Where are we up to? Telegraph. Yeah, we're going to be reading that. Got that lined up. I don't hear Roy Skelton. I hear a bit more Michael Wisher's dialect. Yeah, I hear that. Even as a Doctor and Mickey Mouse as the Master. Rabbi in the chat. That's a good idea, Michael Q. Although Mickey Mouse is too evil to be the Master, right? He's just like, again, it's like having a child molester as the Master. Like, no, yeah, the Flash movie they did, it wasn't a bad movie, right? It wasn't a bad movie at all. I mean, the special effects were kind of crappy. It was Ezra Miller being this this creepy dude, just like derailed the whole movie, right? Absolutely derailed it. Whoever played Iris West, though, in Justice League, she was hot. She was like the most gorgeous Iris West I've ever seen, right? If you're a noncer and anti-Semite, the BBC is an ideal partner for you. Hi, this is here. Lonnie says he wants more email. I completely agree with you. When you say faggy, are you perhaps referring to the bundles of wood which will form on the Russell Pyre on the Pyre Rusty Davis era will be burned on? I don't even think it's going to get that much of a burning. I think it's going to just be forgotten forever, right? I think it's just going to be, again, is Star Trek Discovery burning on a pyre? Is the Acolyte going to be burning on a pyre? Nobody gives a shit. about any of this stuff, right? Just nobody gives a shit about it. You okay. If they want to be able to watch Doctor Who, you know what they should have done? This, right? We're all up and ready for this, right? It's like do a mini season of 4 episodes, but they just, I don't know, 8 episodes a year, 8 episodes a year spread over 7 weeks. Not impressive, right? Not impressive. Fine. Let us get to a bit of Doctor Who. 45 minutes after I planned. I mean, it literally is 45 minutes later, right? We're up to 5. So that's where are we going to start? Shall we start with reviews? Shall we start with the Telegraph? Am I on the wrong thing? Oh, on the here. 1 second. I'm on the wrong thing. Where is it? Just to go back to. I had it pulled up just now. It was a way back machine. I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Doink. Where are we up to? Fine. So the reviews are coming out for Doctor Who, right? The reviews are coming out. And look, the reviews are coming out, and this era. Oh, sorry. Robbie Bonham is there. Sorry, I missed you, right? The reviews are coming out, and they're not great. They're not terrible, but not great. But for this era of Doctor Who to be successful, they needed to be stellar, because they've actively thrown away the audience, us, right? They're like, oh no, you icky phobes who don't like the Doctor, jacking off into the Master's mouth. Yeah, I don't actually. I don't, right? I don't. People are out their bloody mind. Like, everything is about sex all the time. Like, that's why I'm like so sexually orientated on it, because they make everything about sex, right? Like, everything about sex. So let's start with the Telegraph's review. Then we'll go to the Guardian. I think the Guardian only gave it 3 stars, right? Okay, again, 3 for this to be successful, for this to get a 3rd season. Okay, what do they need to do? They need to get traction. They need to get an audience. They need to get people excited about it. They need to get people talking about it, right? Their best case scenario is if they have a hit that's something that worked as well as Fallout. They want to be as big as Stranger Things. No way. Did you notice Stranger Things wasn't constantly telling you, their weird sexual preferences, right? It wasn't all about. It was about a good, fun story evoking the 80s. Yeah, none of it was about wokeness, right? This is going to be the most agonizingly woke shit I think we've seen for years, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. How they how they see so much failure and they go, yeah, we're going to do the same thing, and this time it's going to work. Right? I don't get it. I mean, it's insanity, I know. But look, I keep saying the world's going to end, right? And I don't... But, like, it's insane. So, Doctor Who Series 14 review. Ncuti Gatwa shines amongst the clunky culture war posturing. And I doubt he really does shine, frankly. I just think people are scared to say the Emperor's got no clothes. Really? I really think that's what it's about. The all-new series begins with Space Babies. I still think that's the name of the writers. People are making it. And the Devil's Called. The Disney budget is obvious, but so are Russell T. Davies' messages. Yeah, it's going to be agonizingly clunky, right? Agonizingly clunky. After a Christmas episode of Doctor Who on Disney Plus and BBC, properly introduced a new Time Lord Ncuti Gatwa. Now, I really didn't get a beat on him at all in the giggle, other than, I mean, I probably did. He seems to be a preening, self-absorbed cunt, right? Running around in his knickers, just not being very good, just not being very doctory. Like, I don't believe he's the smartest man in the room, right? That's the bottom line. I don't believe he's the smartest man in the room. I don't believe he's particularly moral, right? Especially that speech he gives about not having a job. Can I find that speech here? Let me go. 1 second. We'll do BBC Doctor Who. I think it was on the official BBC Doctor Who channel. Like, there's a... Oh, here it is. Here, where it's... it seems to be almost identical to the end of the world, the end of the world. Where is it? YouTube download or where? Quick. Doink. There we go. Start. Thinking about it. Oh, I keep forgetting I've got the thing built into my browser now. Just makes life so much freakishly easier. Oh, here it is. Good. 1 second. Let's have a quick look.
Keep going. For days like this, Ruby Sunday.
Again, she strikes me as being very relatable, right? Like being like a genuine human, and I believe her emotions throughout. I really think she's a talented actress, right? I mean, honestly, I would love to see her go really far, right? I'd love to see her be in the role of Shakespeare coming. I think she's genuinely talented, right? I think she's the best talent they have on screen right now.
I don't have a people, I don't have a home. But I don't have a job either.
See, I don't like that. I think having this is so Gen Z, right? That they're like, oh, having a job, oh, that's so boomerish. Yeah, no, you have to have a fucking job. And it's also a good thing to have a job. It's a good thing to have a work ethic. That's why they call it ethic, right? It doesn't strike me that this doctor has a work ethic, right? That like, oh, I don't have a job.
I don't have a boss or taxes or rent or bills to pay.
I mean, like these are all the worst things in the world for Gen Z. Like having a boss. Oh no, I got to do something. Somebody tells me, or bills to pay, or tax. Like, yeah, no, don't run from life, right? Don't run from like the responsibilities of life. They're actually good for you. They make you feel good.
I have a purpose, or a cause, or a mission.
Doesn't have a purpose or a cause, really.
But I have freedom. And so I keep moving on to see the next thing, and the next, and the next.
He just seems like a vapid loser, a vapid self-obsessed loser. Now, again, look, honestly, I'm going to try and watch the new episodes with as much of an open mind as possible. But boy, they've really pushed me away, right? They've really pushed me away. And I don't like this messaging. I don't.
Sometimes it looks even better through your eyes.
So where's this then?
Whoa, Planet Pacifico del Rio.
Oh, that's in English. They speak English here. English exists.
No. Humans don't speak one language by this point. A bit like Cantonese. This is what it really looks like, but the TARDIS translates. It's got a perception filter, so it helps you fit into every time and place.
It just doesn't. I wish I thought he was great as a Doctor, but I just think it's a case of the Emperor's got no clothes, and people just don't want to say it. Right? He seems better than Jodie, but weaker than every other Doctor. Right? I mean, and written to be a vapid loser. I don't have a job or responsibilities because they suck. I'm free. I'm so free and fluid. Oh, it's so good. No, God, like, you know, be. Don't run from responsibility, which is what I feel this is doing. Okay. Probably introduced we're down to business with a double bill. Stupid idea. Launching a new series. The first is Space Babies will delight the audience of under 10s. Yes, it's dumb. This new Doctor Who is for stupid people. Doctor Who should not be for under 10s. It should be for intelligent 13-year-olds. Right? That's what I think. Or at least intelligent 12-year-olds, let's say. The second ever is called Might Bore You to Tears, Whatever Your Age. Oh, fuck me. It might well be, right? Might well be boring as hell because, you know, they got Jinx Monsoon in it and they're like, oh, everyone's going to love it. Oh, just imagine Jinx Monsoon. Ooh. Since Disney joined forces with the BBC to create the Whoniverse, the show, well, they don't have the Whoniverse on Disney, right? The show is taken on a new tone. Slick, expensive, and nothing here to scare the horses. Oh, so true. And again, I'm speaking of somebody who didn't mind the church on Ruby Road, right? I really didn't mind it. I thought there was. I think with a more convincing hero in the middle of it, with a hero that I didn't just fuck me off so much all the time. I thought the idea of the goblins was interesting. The whole different universe science was interesting. There's a lot to recommend it, right? It just, I don't know. Just Shooty seems to be one of their biggest blunders so far. Mostly there's nothing here to scare anyone who has recently graduated from Bluey or Peppa Pig. The Doctor Who episodes that linger in memory from the childhood were the unsettling ones. Logopolis featuring the Watcher. That was unsettling, wasn't it? Right? That was genuinely unsettling. I'll say that as well about Image of Fendel. Genuinely unsettling. Terrified the life of me. Now a show is so unthreatening that one of the episodes turns into a musical. Well, I'm glad it's not both. The first Space Babies, 3 stars. They get 3 stars. The Doctor and his companion Ruby Sunday, played by Millie Gibson, visit a space station populated by babies who can talk and who can zoom around in their little buggies. It's cuteness overload. The plot involves nappies and bogies, which might be fun for younger viewers, but cringe-worthy for adults. Now, don't be wrong, I love the wheelie bin eating Mickey. Let's see if we can pull up that. There we go. It will be, where is it? Doink. Oh, now I'm in my Blake 7 folder. No, I meant to go Doctor Who. Doink. Now I'm in the wrong. 9th Doctor. Rose. Okay, fine. Let's see if I can find the wheelie big section. Because people complained a lot about this in when it happened. Is that Autumn Mickey? Yeah, I think that's Autumn Mickey. There you go. It was just before this. Don't read my emails. I love that about him. Oh, no. So he was outside. It's not more Autumn Mickey yet. Second. Clive was in it for 10 seconds. In his shed. Man, I miss Doctor Who being good. Okay, so yeah, we're about to get the wheelie. But people were like, again, traditional Doctor Who fans were really upset by this.
Coming in?
If he singled you out, the Doctor's making.
Okay, this CGI is a bit clunky, but it's from 20 years ago, and it's fine, right? It's fine. You don't need insanely good. You don't need the money they're spending on it. So people said this was too kiddie. I don't think so. I think it actually really does a good job of bringing together its a plastic menace. Oh, I wish I could go back in time and tell him to watch his back. Yeah, people hated the burp, right? People absolutely. Now, is that too juvenile? I don't think so. Actually, I think that might be the sweet spot. It's a little bit Sarah Jane Adventures, but I think it was okay, right? I think Space Baby was probably not. What are we up to? It's cringeworthy for adults, and entry-level episode in many ways. It has the Doctor explaining the basics to Ruby. He comes from Gallifrey, has 2 hearts. The TARDIS is a time-traveling machine based on a kind of police box we used to have in the street corners. Indeed, Disney is marketing it. This is season 1. So's the BBC. It's season 1. The Talking Babies make a silly bit of storytelling, but I enjoyed my but I enjoyed it on my children's behalf. Then I sat there. Then it's on to The Devil's Call. 2 stars. Fuck me, that's not good. 2 stars. Which is best appreciated by people old enough to be familiar with the Beatles. So that would be me. But man, these Beatles look nothing like the Beatles, right? Nothing at all like the Beatles. With the whole of history at his disposal, 19-year-old Ruby chooses to go to EMI Studios' 1963, in which the Beatles record their first album. The music has been stolen by a villain named Maestro, meaning the Fab Four produced lyrics such as, "I've got a dog, he's called Fred, my dog is alive, he's not dead," from Paul McCartney or Fat Asian Paul McCartney, as they're doing it over here. Explains that he wants to make a bit of money out of cheap old rhymes. John Lennon says sadly, "I'm not good at anything. In the next studio, Cilla Black is singing badly, albeit not as badly as a real thing." That's actually quite entertaining. But this villain, I'm sorry, it looks like shit. It looks like shit. Jinx wants it looks like shit. I'm sorry. Not doing much for me. The episode had a good opening scene, but that's as far as it goes. But that goes on for what feels like forever, with drag queen Jinx Monsoon chewing the scenery as Maestro. Yeah, it's a new villain. It's not the master. The Beatles idea is thrown away again and logically inconsistent. If we're in a world where no one whistles or hums or taps their feet, why is anybody recording an album in the first place? Okay, it must be a plot point. How have the Beatles lost the ability to write lyrics, but not to sing in harmony? How can because this is all about not playing any Beatles music, right? They're keeping it copyright free. How can they play instruments properly, but the orchestra can't? I think Russell's probably just more interested in the message. Russell Davis makes clunky attempts to be current. Ruby mentions Beyonce and Sam Fedder. Fuck me, Beyonce and Sam. Really? Like, nothing says that Russell Davis is out of touch more than like him. Like, it's like this old granddad saying, "Here, kids, let's get down with it." The Dr. Clays live in Shoreditch, and of course, there's the politics. We're fighting the culture wars, not Daleks, and Davis wants to know which side he's on. We know, Russell, right? We know. I was speaking to somebody who was very involved with the Space 1999 Big Finish box set, Earthbound, which was a really shit Brexit analogy, right? And the point I made to this guy was that we all know what your politics are, right? Everybody knows. There's no need to scream it to the world. So we're fighting culture wars and not Daleks and Cybermen. That's not good news at all. So Space Base references refugees and government cuts on and restrictions on abortion. The planet refused to stop babies being born, but once they're born, they don't look after them. Oh, fuck off. Right. It's such a moronic, vapid, modern leftist answer that, like, what about life being worth something? Again, if you're not wealthy, then your life's worthless. But again, I think that fits in. That's on brand with this Doctor Who, which is like, oh, I don't have a job, Ruby, someday, or responsibilities or anything. Oh, I just go do. That makes you sound like a loser, right? It's good to have responsibilities. It's a very strange planet. Gender pronouns crop up, continuing the thing from Starbeast episode. Bleh! When Jinx Monsoon arrives, get away from him, a character warns. And it said, them, retorts Maestro. I'm them. No, you're not. There's only one of you. Well, actually, if Maestro's like a celestial toymaker-like villain, they can actually, legitimately be called them. But why? Why are you continually lecturing us with shit that we know definitively now? Like, we absolutely know definitively it's very, very, very harmful to children, right? This is science factor now. Like stop with the trans shit. Stop telling children that being transgender is a healthy, viable option. because all the science says it isn't, right? It's not. Fine. The main asset of the new Doctor Who is Gatwa, who carries the series along with the force of his megawatt charisma. That I believe, right? But that charisma, he's destroyed it now. It's all gone, right? It is all gone. It bizarrely. Oh, where is it? Here, let me find it. No, man, I had to reboot my computer at one point. So here, maybe let me go to EW Online. Let's see if I can. I'm searching my history. EW.com. Will that come up? No. Oh, EW. There we go. Is that it? Yes. I mean, yeah, look, this megawatt charisma is gone, baby, right? It's gone. It's not there anymore. This shit has killed it. I'm not, yeah, you were charismatic before you started waggling your nipples around. Now you're not anymore. You're just annoying. Annoying and just, oh God, just stop. So yeah, if that's all they've got to carry it, they're fucked, right? And this is a 3-star review. It's not going to do well enough, right? It's not going to do well enough. Where are we up to? When the Doctor tells nobody grows up wrong. You are what you are, and you're magnificent. But I still completely advocate you cutting off bits of your body if you're not happy with growing up wrong. It may be another example of David's hammering his point, but Gatwa's delivery makes it become a joyful method of self-acceptance. Well, it used to. But, like, not anymore. Oh, man. Okay, look. Yeah, 1 second. I got to go over here. I mean, I want to show you what you know, a successful working Doctor Who should look like to the public, right? Wait, now, where is this thing? Is it over here? Hang on. It's 2 minutes. Too many things to find. Where is it? Here we go. Doink. This is what it looks like when you actually do connect with the public. It looks like this. Right. Again, and look at his delight at being Doctor Who in costume. Right. I mean, admittedly, yeah. You know, shooters in costume, waggling his bronze nipples around. But look at his delight, right? And it's not a delight. Okay, here's the difference between Ncuti Gatwa and Tom Baker. This is his delight in being loved and accepted and like lifting and he loves the children loving him, right? Ncuti Gatwa's all about loving himself, right? Everything about Ncuti Gatwa is about him loving himself, right? Everything about Tom Baker is about him loving, like being successful, doing this great job. He's loving the joy on children's faces, right? This one looks like he's loving the cum on children's faces. Like fuck off with this. Like, Russell, this is not. I know this is a shit you get down. It's fine. This is not what wholesome normal people do. I mean, we did when we're kids, but like we grew out of it. Look at the kids around it, right? Oh God! Okay, look, there's pure joy. I think this is in Belfast.
No. Please be quiet just for one moment. Huh? I'm delighted to be in the province this afternoon.
I'm delighted, naturally, by my reception. It's quite nice to be received like this.
Yeah, this is true. Oh, Tom Baker did that to me one time. Put his hat on me when I was like 5. Fagan's bookshop, children's bookshop, doing a signing of Doctor Who and the Monsters or Doctor Who and the Dinosaurs. Oh God, it was magical. I still can see him, like right in front of me. He took his hat off, put it on me. Oh, it blew my mind, did my head in a way it still stayed with me today, right?
And the mayor's car mysteriously seized up on the way.
Where's the TARDIS heading to next?
Do you know, I don't know. I never know, you see. I work on 4 or 6 scripts at a time. I don't know where I'm going at all.
Are you delighted with the welcome you've got here with your TARDIS?
Oh, yes. Wow, look at it. Isn't that amazing? Wonderful.
Again, this is what you're aiming for, right? Oh, God, look, he's going into a school. Oh, God, I love this.
Yeah. Very nice to be here. Why are you all smiling? Gosh.
Reminds me of when Johnny Depp went to school dressed as Captain Jack. I love that.
I can hardly believe it. Can you believe it? You can. How old are you tomorrow? 11. That's a good age, 11, isn't it?
Yeah, an intelligent 11-year-old.
Are you the oldest in the class? You don't know. All right. Here's a birthday present for you, Mark. Happy birthday. 11 tomorrow. 11 tomorrow. Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome.
Oh, man. And now we have this. Like, really? What are you, like, what, like, why do you think I'm complaining? Okay, let's look at the Guardian, right? If the Guardian can only manage 3 stars, that's not good news, right? That is not good news. Jack Silver reviewed this. Seems like he's got a bug up his ass right there. Doctor's first review, Shooting Gut will make this show far more fun than it's been for years. Well, that's not fun. That's not fair. That's years. It's been what, 7 years since 2017? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's been way more fun than it was unwatchably bad with Jodie Whittaker, who I am no doubt this cunt said was the greatest thing ever, right? Let's have a look. Jack Seal, Doctor Who Doctor. Let me say it there. Jack Seal, Guardian, Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker. Let's see if we can find out an old review of him. Okay, why am I getting images? Jack Seal, I would say Guardian. Guardian. Is it Jack Seal? Did I spell his name wrong? Right. Let's see what he had to say about this. This was the Sea Devils one, where like the Emperor really had no clothes at that point. Man the Cannons buckle up for Easter special with the time loss. We have the wonderful Jodie Whittaker. Yeah, okay, fine. You told me everything we need to know. What's wonderful about her? That she was unwatchably shit in the role. I mean, okay, Shooty. I don't think he's going to be as bad as Jodie. Okay, not the worst Doctor Who ever. This is it. The 50th Doctor's here, and he's dazzling, all-seeing, all-dancing delight. Yeah, really? We hadn't noticed, right? We hadn't noticed. Oh, yes, maybe we did. Well, the newer of Doctor Who. Oh, well. Christmas specials don't count. I disagree. I really fundamentally disagree. I mean, they're frothy, and they're like more, general audience than the main show. But I think they totally count. I disagree. Intermediate trilogies with David Tennant as the 14th Doctor or whatever don't count. Well, okay, I get that. The new era Doctor Who with Russell David back as showrunner and shooting actor as a Doctor only really begins here. The new season proper, there's a fair argument to be made for that, okay? The first double comprising Space Babies and The Devil's Called Off. And every time I say Space Babies, I go, oh, fuck off. Points to the stellar future for Doctor Who. No, again, the wonderful Jodie Whittaker. Yeah, she was so wonderful that everybody wanted to jump out of a window whenever they saw her come in the room. Points to the stellar future for Who as a youthful, chaotic playground of imagination. No, it used to be like a moral giant, right? I mean, I'm not opposed to it being fun, right? But I think it needs to have more depth than that. So like, I went from like his charm was working on me, and now I'm just irritated by him every time I see him. And why? From entirely through this last marketing offense, this marketing campaign they went on, where they just completely openly said, we don't give two shits about you, right? We do not give two shits about you. We want our new audience of studying and brave Gen Zs. They are not going to pick up on this, right? He thinks Gen Z are going to flock to it. Oh, look. I mean, maybe they will. Maybe they will. I doubt it. I doubt it. I think it's going to crash and burn epically. Hopefully the apocalypse will come first. There'll be one reason for the apocalypse not to come first, to see it really genuinely fail. That'd be awesome. There we go. Solo Who is Doctor Who playing a youthfully chaotic playground of imagination, far more fancier foot and light outlook than it has been for years. Yeah, I know. Jodie Whittaker was shit. It only takes baby steps for now towards the new destination, but we can see it. Yeah, we can too. That's why we're going, oh, fuck off. We don't want to go there. Cameron established himself as a cracking doctor immediately. What an obvious perfect piece of casting is. Excuse me, you said that Jodie Whittaker was wonderful. She was absolutely useless in the role, right? Your word has no meaning whatsoever. It has no weight to it. Has no gravitas to it. Has no validity to it. I'm sorry. I think you like him because he's black and gay. Here's the thing you can always tell. When we often get the criticism, and I did in my comments. The only reason that I have anything against the only reason that I just totally lost my train of thought. The only reason what? What was I going to say? The only reason I was I totally lost my train of thought. I don't mind. Fine, I'm sure it'll come back to me in 20 minutes. So sometimes there's a cracking dog. Oh yeah, no. They keep saying the only reason that I don't like him is he's black and gay. No, when they say that, they mean the only reason that they like him is because he's black and gay, right? It's not. I don't like him because he's black and gay. You only like him because he's black and gay, right? That is the Guardian, right? This guy, it's totally what he is. So yeah, he's saying he's the best thing since sliced bread. Where is it? What obviously perfect piece of casting is. You said about Jodie Whittaker, commandingly hench in his colourful costumes. I hate all the colourful costumes, right? I can't just have a costume. And naturally able to express dazzling extremes the Doctor has to embody. What dazzling extreme? Yeah, whatever. He glowers at the end of the world. He glowers, and the end of the world descends. And unacceptably, he grins, and we're having the most fun in the universe. Here's the thing: it's like you keep telling us what this is going to be. Nobody had to tell us what Tom Baker was like, right? No one had to tell us what any of it. We're like, oh, like you didn't need to tell me that how powerful David Tennant was in the role with the Doctor or Matt Smith, because they just were. Skipping and dancing on a few occasions here, doing a sideways gallop when he enters the room like Kramer from Seinfeld with spring in his heels. I mean, it sounds like shit, but I'll watch it. Again, if it's good, I'll say it's good. Star Trek Picard Season 3, that was good, right? Davis, meanwhile, has always been a writer who deals with big ideas more than precise dialogue or watertight plotting. That's fair. I mean, he's always been dealing with more like being entertaining. Capable of those latter things, though he is, flush with the many, many extra dollars that comes with the global time with Disney, British viewers have to stay up until midnight to join the global premiere. Fuck you. Yes, fuck you over there. I mean, it's so out of line. Right, that is just so out of line. Premiere of this year's episode, timed as they are to suit US households. David looks unlikely to blow the cash just on shiny lasers. That's exactly what he's doing. bigger spaceships and scary monsters. I mean, again, have you seen the TARDIS set? It looks ridiculous. I'm sorry. It looks expensive and it looks ridiculous. Where we are. Biggest spaceship. Democor sends its budget, for example, on a wonderfully unnecessary, unexpected musical sequence. It scores of dancers telling the world that this show has a green light to do whatever it wants. Every Disney show has a green light to do whatever it wants, as long as it opposes and attacks the nuclear family. And, yeah, you can do whatever you want as long as you hate the white male patriarchy or whatever bullshit you want to believe in. It scores of dancers telling the world that this show has been green lit to do whatever it wants, and it wants to be. It wants to be hard to predict. It's going to be shit. How about that? It's going to be gay mincing shit. How about that? Let's see if that's going to be hard to predict. Conventionally, an episode to open the much anticipated new season will be tightly honed, but Space Babies bulges loosely, despite going to absurd lengths to accommodate new fans. And yeah, they're only going to accommodate new fans. The old people are going. If you like Doctor Who, you're going to drop out of this very quickly, unless you're too scared of saying you don't like a black gay Doctor Who, right? If you're too scared of that, then yeah, you watch it. And boy, not many people are scared. People just go, don't like it. It was this thing is silly, boring. But they were assuming they were going to get a David Tennant-sized success, right? They were assuming they're going to get Tom Baker-like success. But boy. And I bet after that shitty Davros skit on Children in Need, Russell was like, "Oh, there's so many racists. We got to try harder to re-educate people." Yes, that's what we got to do. The first 10 minutes was almost entirely given a gut. We're standing over the controls of the TARDIS, explaining to his boggling companion Millie Gibson, Ruby, why he's called the Doctor, what happened to his home planet Gallifrey. Fuck off, really? So it's like Exposition City, right? What the TARDIS stands for and why the outside looks like an old-fashioned police box, and so on. David undercuts all this smartly with a throwaway trip to a distant past that enjoys making clear Doctor Who's approach to the logic of time travel might be a little cavalier. Well, it certainly is now. But when the Doctor and Ruby have arrived at their first port of call and apparently abandoned space station, he's still wanging on about the TARDIS automatic translation software. We just saw that clip. One wonders whether this housekeeping could have been woven more efficiently into the action across several stories. Yes, it could have done. However, it's being written to agenda, right? The agenda is everything, right? The agenda is all in this era of Doctor Who, right? That's all they really care about is the agenda. And once you do that, it makes it impossible to be able to write well, right? It's just get. Look, I mean, how many examples of that do you want to cite? Yeah, well, no, officially a few stories. Yeah, probably right. I mean, are you keeping them for a few stories? Again, this Jigs Monsoon thing looks shit. In the Time Left Space Babies is a textbook example of mid-ranking Who installment. Again. Man, that's not doing anything to bring people in, is it? Fun, and ultimately fun but forgettable. Do you remember? I mean, think back now. Does anybody really remember or care about anything in the Jodie Whittaker years? Is anybody going, "Oh man, do you remember? You know, like what we did for Matt Smith?" There's so many good things. And I watched Curse of Fenric last night, and it was awesome. No one's going to look back on this and go, "Oh, awesome." I mean, like, even the specials are going to be forgotten almost instantly. And they nearly are. They nearly are. I mean, like, do you remember... do you talk about Resolution ever? I mean, like, does anybody talk about any of this shit ever? Spyfall? No. I mean, the only reason it's mentioned is to denigrate it, apart from a small band of insane people that live on Twitter, right, that can't believe the world isn't the way they think it should be. Where we're up to. Try summarizing what follows on from the arresting initial revelation that the spaceship's being piloted by a gang of babies in stroller. You will. I mean, that is a fun idea, right? But it's just not pulled together very well. I would say that about the Sixth Doctor release I'm listening to right now from Big Finish, the Quinn Dilemma. It's a fun idea, but man, I'm finding it really hard to get through. I'm finally on the last part of it. Hopefully, I'll be able to review it on Thursday. Yeah, I'm going to review that and Image Offender on Thursday. That's my plan, and we're going to do the previews for The Devil's Cord and Space Babies. Try summarizing what follows in the from the arresting initial revelation of space being piloted by babies, and you will falter within such a half-formed narrative. David's usually stirring efforts to dot the script with political and personal messages are awkward. Yes, I'm sure they are. Because, here's the thing. People don't really believe in the bullshit they're saying. Rusty Davis doesn't think it's a good idea for children to surgically alter their bodies to feel good about themselves, right? He does not think that's a good idea. He doesn't think that's a good thing. But he has to think that, otherwise he's evil. And so I think that that schism is what breaks writers. Narrative. He just about gets away with a rousing speech from Doctor about learning to embrace being unorthodox, but an allegory about the rollback of abortion rights in the US is accompanied by the deafening scrape of a crowbar. And this is the Guardian saying it. Gatter and Gibson need to muster all their open-hearted energy, which is, in the best possible way, childish to see the story through. Man, this is going to get roasted. This is going to get roasted in ways that you couldn't imagine. Fine. I'm not going to have to imagine it. We're going to see it. Much better is episode 2, The Devil's Call, which takes the Doctor and Ruby to Abbey Road to witness the Beatles recording their first album. I would take them to go and visit them recording Rubber Soul, frankly, or what's the one after Rubber Soul? No, I'm thinking of Rubber Soul is everything Rubber Soul and Sgt. Pepper. Great album. Beatles album after Rubber Soul. Let's have a look, see what it says. Revolver. Thank you. Oh, God, that's painful. Yeah, I'd much rather be there and watch them record Revolver. That would be really cool. Recording their debut. Amazing, says the Doctor when Ruby makes a suggestion. And as the pair arrive, that sounds fun. As the pair arrive in full Austin Powers outfit, he does a cheesy Cockney accent to further suggest that this will be a gaudy Carnaby Street romp. This, however, is an altered 1960s where the Beatles are churning out soulless pap, like Doctor Who. Stop putting it on her. Cat was disguised, astonished. Cat was disgusted, astonished face is hilarious. Thanks to the villainous maestro. Jinx Monsoon has stolen humanity's ability to enjoy sucker music, musical expression. The narrative's ultimate message is sentimental amounting as it does to David saying, "I love music, me. It's brilliant." But Monsoon's wicked witch flamboyance gives a menacing edge. And that song and dance number arrives joyously, ostentatiously, randomly. If a comeback season can find stories to match its creator's flair and its leading man star power, new dimensions away, it's not going to be good, right? It's done. No. Can they do it? No. And you know why they can't do that? Because they're not hiring people based on talent. And that bloody simple. Here, look at this. Doctor Who showrunner confirms more diverse writing talent for season 15. Who gives a shit about their diversity? Fucking imbecile. And I finally worked out why Millie Gibson's smiling here and like looking so confident while the other two look like they're shitting. The other two do look like they're shitting. I mean, look, Shooty Gatwa doesn't look like he's smart enough to be shitting himself. Russell Davis looks like he's shitting himself. He knows he's about to flop. Right, Millie Gibson. I'm out of this, and I got myself a role in a new season, in a new series. fine. So who they got? Like, hey, what's their qualification for writing? Oh, he's black. Okay. News of Doctor, the upcoming episode 6 has been written by Russell D. Davis, while 1 has been written by former showrunner Stephen Moffat. Meanwhile, episode 6, Rogue, has been crafted by the writing team of Kate Herron and Bryony Redmond, who recently interviewed in Men's Journal. They've explained how they came on board. They work for Disney. They're not white men. And they did show that it was generally panned by everybody and almost universally hated. And that's even with literally the most charismatic, charming star in the world, Tom Hiddleston. I hugely admire Kate Herron's work on Loki. Really? What did you like about it? I'm intrigued. Tell me more. What was it specifically you thought was good? Right? Because I watched Loki and it seemed to be mostly about introducing female Loki and having her be better than Loki. Right? The only part of Loki that I really enjoyed was Richard D. Grant as alternative Loki. He was great. Everything, and that's just because he's Richard D. Grant. Everything else was shit. I'm sorry. It was wasted money. Obviously, I wanted women writing. Why? Why didn't you just want people writing? And I'm aware we haven't got enough women or writers of color. So you know what? Okay, what do you do when you reduce your employment pool? You reduce quality. There's no other way of doing it, right? There is no other way of doing it. I don't know what the 28-day workout challenge is ad on this side over here, but like it's not a great ad. I'm sorry. You could look like this fat piece of shit after 28 days of the workout challenge. Okay, lovely. Which we're fixing in the next series to come. There's nothing to fix. Like, for God's sake. Like, let people choose to do what they want in life, right? I understand, Russell, you are in an industry full of liars and racists and sexists and abusers, right? That is the TV industry, and losers, right? You know what? You know how powerful TV was? That we always knew you were liars and racists and sexists, right? But we didn't care because you put stuff on that we liked, right? Now you're liars, racists, and sexists, and also talentless fucks who wants to lecture us on morality while being our moral fucking inferiors. So Kevin made contact over Lukey, and she introduced me to Bryony, who might not be so well known unless you're in moving comedy circles, where the improv and stand-up, she's a legend. Who cares? Why not bring Suze Kempner in? Oh, everybody loves it. Nothing's going to go wrong with that, right? Oh, God. They just bring their own style. Or maybe they should bring Doctor Who style, right? Based on this, it certainly sounds like it'd be a more diverse writing team has crafted an already in production season 15. Perhaps Davis is writing a few episodes himself. But again, why is this racist talking point even a story? Disgusting. I mean, like, honestly, if Martin Luther King was brought back from dead, and he could see the state of racism today, where all the anti-racists are just full-on racist. Although, again, that's what the Israel thing has done. Weirdly, right? It's turned the woke into Nazis. Like, they're literal Jew-hating Nazis, right? Perhaps with Davis writing a few episodes himself. If this is the case, this will follow a similar pattern to Davis' first year on the show, when he wrote 8 or 13 episodes of season 1, but only 5 for season 13. 5 or 13 for season 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, okay. I don't think there's going to be a season 3. All right, I do not think there's going to be a season 3. I'm sorry, but no, I just don't think that's going down, mate. Like, not in any way, shape, or form. Let's see what's going on. What else we got going on in? Shall we? Where is that? No, let's do a bit more Doctor Who stuff. I'm trying to decide where to go next. We did The Guardian. Let's have a look. See what Bleeding Cord. Okay. Have a look at this. Doctor Who is back this week with a new season 1. Remember when it first came out in 2005? It was called Series 1. Streaming worldwide to attract first-time viewers who don't have to worry about the 61 years or past seasons to catch up with. No, again, the reason things work is because they're good. Reason things get an audience is because they're good. Like, I didn't know anything about Fallout, and I watched it, and I got it, right? I didn't need like this big explanation about everything, right? Because it was a show just about being a bloody show. It wasn't trying to do anything else. I just don't see it happening. He really thought he was going to get the entire old audience plus Gen Z. I don't think he thinks that now. I think they're shitting themselves now, and good. I'm glad. Fine. Rusty is back as showrunner for a new era with the BBC and Disney Plus are premiering. Blah 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 blah. Every first ever Doctor Who with a new Doctor and a companion is practically a new show for the. And this time it's both new and old again. Cranked up to 100. And, when they crank up to 100, that means they don't have any substance normally. I mean, I don't know. The first episode is in the modern era. Rose premiered nearly 20 years ago. Nearly 20 years ago now. And Davis knows it's a very different time. Yeah, is it better or worse? Much worse. Where streaming has changed TV landscape, he has to do everything he can to keep new viewers interested. Okay, this is what the first thing you've got to do to maintain an audience. Be authentic to whatever it is that you're doing. That's the most important thing. You've got to be authentic to whatever it is that you're doing, right? Where are we up to? And I don't think this is authentically Doctor Who, right? Like look. Why do I not think it's authentically Doctor Who? You tell me, right? You tell me. Why do I have to get the feeling that Doctor Who's going to give me a blowy in the back of a club, and that's all totally normal, right? God, stop! Can't stand it. Stop! Where is it? There you go. I'm sorry I keep going back to that video, but man, does that illustrate everything perfectly or what? The first Rose, blah 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 blah. He has to do everything he can to keep viewers interested, and man, he hit the ground running more than any other TV show premiere we've seen in quite some time. The first 5 minutes alone of the premiere are a mad but coherent dash to let first-time viewers know exactly who these characters are. Did that work in '96 with Paul McGann? Nah, did it? Who these are and who the characters are, what the show's going. It's full of gags and establishing shooting out Millie Gibson's chemistry. That they have. Like anything with Millie is good, essentially. If you like them in the Christmas special one I did, which is the first episode of the new series, a soft launch, as it were. Space Babies are designed to make you fall in love with them. Probably going to make me cringe at anything. It really cranks up their chemistry and their sheer charisma, their ability to play covering off each other, and how they play the script's notes from joy to comedy to sadness instantly. Okay. Space Babies is utterly hysterical. It's possibly the most insane thing Davis has ever wrote in his career. I bet it's not hysterical. I bet it's like cringe, and I bet it's like just not that great. Davis ever wrote in his career. Never mind Doctor Who. Yes, it features babies in space. You have to be completely heartless not to find these cute and go, yeah, you're supposed to go, oh, okay, that's fine. You go after this, just watching the episode. And it's hysterically funny, as if Davis is saying, you think Disney is going to make the show cute and gooey and sentimental? Yeah, sure, but then things get really, really crazy while still making perfect sense. I bet they don't make perfect sense. It ties together all the themes of the Doctor and Ruby's story in a wild combination of goofy cuteness, surreal humor, and heartache at the same time. Is there a story? I mean, is there an engaging story? Right? It seems to be that's the least important thing. along with David's penchant for Bob social and political commentary. Sayonara. Good luck, everybody. Goodbye. If it feels like David's way of taking Disney's notes to create a US pilot and amping it up right from the start, then it gets crazier and crazier. I sound like I'm going to have a headache by the end of this. As it goes, you start to wonder if you're hallucinating. One can only hope. It's like watching Screenwriting 101 lesson on meth. As the episode's Big Bad in Space Babies, we probably have the grossest monster in the history of Doctor Who. You might have heard of Save the Cat. It's Hollywood screenwriting slang for showing the hero saving someone or an animal to prove they're sympathetic or likable. All of Space Babies is Save the Cat, dialed up to 11. Don't dial it up to 11. Like, have a solid 7. A solid, work out what you are and what you're doing. Oh, God. I'm sorry, the more I see Jinx Monsoon, the more I'm like, oh, God, this is going to be awful. If you're like David starts out the new season of Doctor Who crazy, he's totally planned to top it by the finale. And it's he's already setting a very, very high bar. Disney quite rightly sent over a list of things not to spoil pre-broadcast reviews of the first 2 episodes. And what I can say beyond the Doctor and Ruby go back to 1964, thought 63, to meet the Beatles is literally anything else about the episode. It would be a spoiler. Well, everybody else has spoiled it. I'm sorry. So I'm not going to tell you anything about the story other than it's no less crazy than Space Babies. Yeah, music has been stolen, right? It's a bit more serious and darker. Davis might be channeling Ryan Murphy's American Horror Story and casting Jinx Monsoon as Maestro. No, he's channeling his weirdo take on sexuality and gender. Master of the villain, sorry, casting Jinx Monsoon as the villain. Sorry, I say this because Monsoon's loads of fun to watch. Campers are intense, flamingly extravagant, but also menacing, like one of the evils in Murphy's series. Okay. I think the most menacing thing about Jinx Monsoon is the insidious drive to tell children that they should cut their bollocks off, essentially. So the program is on Disney Plus for talent switching between wacky comedy and heartbreak. And promise of the rest of the season will escalate the insanity. Doctor Who streams from. Listen, I will give you an honest response, right? I will give you my honest review. Oh God, shoot! You just stop looking so fucking smug for 10 seconds. Stop looking so bloody smug. Let's have a quick look at the new Superman costume. Where is it? Do we have it over here? Doink. Which was that? Here it is. I don't know. Like, to me, it looks a bit meh. Can I get closer up of it? Let's see if this zooms in. So yeah, look, I really hope they were going to be leaning more into, like, the Super Friends type of Superman, right? That's kind of like the idea that I was going. It's not really much to judge. They always want to try and do something different and new with the costume. Looks like he's got his red trunks back on again. Did I prefer the Christopher Reeve costume? Probably. Right? It's no worse. It's about the same as the Henry Cavill costume, but no, Henry Cavill worked because he really carried it. This is meh. Right? That's how I describe it. Meh. Dr. Meh. Adrian McGeary says, I'm watching 37 minutes early in the video, but I wanted to say that this is say this as I always believe it needs distinguishing. Doctor Who is its best when it's whimsical. Is that it's worse when it's silly? Man, that is such an intelligent. I hope you watch this, Aidan. That is such an intelligent and perceptive thing to say. I'm really impressed. Right. Yes, you really nailed it. Right, you absolutely really nailed it. I completely agree with you, Aidan. Wow, That, you know what, we got there's an expression in Jewish law saying who is a wise person, right? A wise person is somebody who's always open to learn from anyone. Man, Aidan, you really that really hit me, right? You can tell I'm like that was a very intelligent and perceptive comment. Fine, with that intelligent and perceptive comment, you know, we don't like to have those on this channel. I'm going to wrap up, ladies and gentlemen. I am back on Thursday. We will preview from Doctor Who magazine, The Devil's Cord and Space Babies. Maybe we'll get to the stuff I didn't get today. Probably. Who knows or dare say. We will review the Sixth Doctor box set, The Quinn Dilemma. I've got one more episode of that to wade through. We will review what was it called again? The Image Offender, right? We will review that and any other bollocks that happens to come my way. So right now I'm gonna 1 second here before we go. We'll do this next time as well. Fine. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna wrap up. As I said, I'm gonna hit the end broadcast button. I'm gonna hit it again and say good night